And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special mid-season edition of um. What is this? The Loves Gymnastics podcast, hosted by Michaela Loves Gymnastics and Oscar. And we have a very special guest co-host, John Perry, who is supposed to be joining the chat sooner or later. As you all know, for whatever reason, me and the Twitter streets, we've been fighting. So what I'm going to do is just record this conversation on YouTube and Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Michaela Soul. Um, or YouTube, which is Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And join the conversation or whatever. Now today we are doing something a little different. Tonight's show is not necessarily going to be um, gymnastics based. It's not going to be. Oh shit! I'm so sorry. It's not going to be heavily based on gymnastics at all. We might talk some gymnastics, but we got some other things going on, like an election that's starting. I'm sure a lot of people in many states have the right to start early voting as of now. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about why it feels like so many minority people are still voting for Trump in 2024. I want to see what's going on with my community and so on and so forth. But there is some LGBTQ stuff that I also want to talk about, and we're going to talk about that first. Now, I did send Oscar and John the link. I don't know when they plan on joining. I was trying to be punctual and not like the typical Black person. But until they decide to get on, we are going to begin the conversation with this. And this is, first of all, I'm going to play the young lady's TikTok, and then I'm going to play T.S. Madison and her co-host Chris' reaction, and then I'm going to give my reaction. I think that's a good way to start this portion of the show. So let me share my screen. Now, I don't know why sharing my screen has been lagging so much lately. So hopefully today, me sharing my screen won't be an issue. Me sharing my screen won't be an issue. So y'all can see my screen. Y'all can see me down here. Okay, let's do it. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Ellen Sponsana. It's in New Jersey. I've been coming here for 8 years. This is my place of refuge. It's where I come to relax after a week or after a very stressful incident where I clear my mind. You know, like, and it's, yeah. In this spot, there's like a Korean bathhouse. In this bathhouse, there's like hot tubs, a cold tub, showers, where you would get body rubs, and my typical routine is to come in, soak in the hot tub, go get a massage, come back, soak in the hot tub, go have lunch. Then maybe like I might do a body scrub, I might not. After lunch, I might soak in the hot tub, get in the sauna, and then leave. That's my typical routine. And in this Korean bathhouse, everyone is completely naked. So there's a side for men that you can enter through the men's locker room, and they have their own side with their own hot tubs and stuff. And there's a women's side which you can enter through, and it's only women in there. So today I come in, I soak, I go on massage, I get ready to go back into the bathhouse for women. And I walk in and I see a penis and chest hair and a low haircut. So I freak out and I run out. And I go to the I'm like, oh my goodness, I think somebody came to the wrong side or something. There's a man in there. Now there's also all women working in there, so they all look at me in discomfort, and you can tell they're embarrassed. And they're just like, it's a trans woman. So now I'm in shock. Sorry, I'm in shock because this person saw me completely naked, without my consent, and I saw. I don't even know if I should call it a trans woman because it looked like a straight up man. I'm talking chest hair, a low cut, a very big penis, and was older in age, so it clear it had to be in his 40s. And you can tell the spa workers are like torn because you could tell they're uncomfortable walking around, penis swinging, and they're like, well, if someone identifies as a trans person, we legally can't make them leave. So I'm crying at this point. Because at that point, I've been coming here for 8 years, and this is one of my safe spaces, where I go to unwind and everything. And it's just that quick, my safe space just became unsafe. And I almost felt like, I don't know, I'm trying to wrap my head around my feelings. I kind of feel like something very private to me was taken from me without my consent. And when I say something very private, I mean my body. I shouldn't have to be in spaces where men have full access to me naked without my consent, and vice versa. Crying, and the manager, you can tell, very apologetic. They feel bad because they're legally, New Jersey law, there's nothing we can do. So they're like, we'll comp your admission fee and we'll comp your food, but we'll just for your massage. So I immediately get dressed and I leave, and I'm at the front desk and I'm embarrassed that I'm crying because I'm like, this shouldn't feel this intrusive, but I felt, I don't know, I felt embarrassed because we're kind of conditioned to feel oh, everything's transphobic, me even feeling this way, transphobic. But I was very, very uncomfortable, and I just feel like I have the right to feel that way. So I don't know if I have $500 with the gift card here. I come here, like I said, I've been coming here consistently. I come here, I do my yoga when they have yoga sessions, so it's just, I don't know. Help me get my head around this, guys. Am I bugging right now?
So that was the young lady's TikTok that we just watched or whatever. So we will get back to her TikTok in a second. Now I want to find T.S. Madison and her co-host Craig, so-called Fag Talk, not F-A-G, but P-H-W, and I mean P-H-A-G, and I want to hear what they had to say about this, because I think it's important that we hear all sides. It's important that let me see. It must have not been this episode. My bad, people. My bad. I watch a lot of damn T.S. Madison. Give me a second. It must have been this episode. My bad, people. Let's get this motherfucker right here. It was. Okay, I found it, you guys. I found it. I just gotta find where it started. Okay. Okay, so I found it. So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen with myself again. Come on. Now I watch TS Medicine a lot, so I think it's important. I very value, very much value this opinion on these topics. So, and we saw what the old girl had to say. So let's just get to TS's opinion.
And I walk a penis and chest hair.
Oh, I
So I freak
am I?
out. And I go,
I'm not sharing my screen. I am sharing my screen. Can y'all hear it? I think I can hear it. Okay. Let's run it.
I think someone into the room. There's a man in there. Now there's also all women working in there, so they all let me in discomfort, and you can tell they're embarrassed. And they're just like, it's a trans woman. So I'm not in shock. Sorry, I'm in shock because this person saw me completely naked, without my consent, and I don't even know if I could call it a trans woman. It looked like a straight up man. I'm talking chest hair, a low cut, a very big penis, like and older age. So clearly, like, it had to be in his 40s. And
I just stopped it. It's like another 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Girl, when she said, "A favorite penis," is that 10 minutes? My girlfriend doesn't have hair, but she has a very big penis. Correct. Right. Okay. She said she has. I know sometimes you cut, but not majority of the time. All right, let's. Sonny, you didn't hear the rest because you were working, but she was saying it's a Korean.
And hold on, everybody.
Hold on, everybody. Isn't it? No, it's I can't remember where it was. But
here we go. Here we go. Pause it, girl. Okay, I did it. I paused it. Let me add the friend on.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
John.
How are y'all?
Hey, how you doing, boo?
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you. How is it going?
Going well. Going well. So ready on Kamal.
Okay.
Kamal is having a huge a rally near me.
Oh, that's good. Are you going?
No, I'm here.
Now, I wanted to bring John on because John is very versed on what's going on in the political realm. He sits there and argue with these damn Republican people on Twitter all day long. So even I can't even lie, for whatever reason, not even for whatever reason, just year has been a lot for me personally. So I haven't been as invested as I should be in the political realm as I should be. But I have seen a lot of people, a lot of gay people, a lot of trans people, a lot of black people, a lot of Hispanic people who, for whatever reason, are very vocal and very anti-Kamala Harris this go around. And I'm very terrified because it very so much reminds me of 2016 when I just started realizing, oh shit, like people are really like this Trump shit's gonna happen. Like, and people are like, oh, it's never gonna happen. But then I'm just realizing, like, no, this Trump shit is gonna happen. And it got me in my feelings. Like, I feel like it'll happen again. But before I even get to that, because before I can even get to that, I have to get to this damn trans issue because I sent you the TikTok earlier and you have an opinion. I see you typing your opinion very heavily in Twitter. But I just, things like this is why I feel like for a very long time the Republicans are going to win. It's like I'm not saying we have to pick a side as the LGBTQ community, but things have to kind of make sense. And I'm trying to find. Should have looked a second longer for the video of the lady who was actually in the spot because I think she had a news something or another. I just couldn't find the article or whatever telling her side of this story. But before and trigger warning, I am a transgender woman, but I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the trans community. I'm also black and I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the black community. But just because I disagree with something, that doesn't mean I A, want harm upon the person, B, I want ill upon the person, C, I want the person to go to jail, or this is just my opinion of said issue. So before y'all jump down my throat, just remember, I'm on y'all side. I'm just telling y'all why it doesn't make sense to me being on your side. Even though I am on your side, I'm just telling y'all how I feel about certain things, okay? Not you, John, I'm just talking to the people because I know I'm going to get some shit after this because I'm not going to be on y'all side on all these conversations tonight. But I feel like it's important to have. But what I do want to do before we get into this, I want to finish letting this little segment because I think it's like 5 minutes of Maddie giving her opinion on this trans issue. Then I want to let John speak because then I think y'all know if y'all used to watch the show with me and Addis, y'all know my opinion on this issue already. So let's get into it. Just give me, if it's lagging, everybody, I'm so sorry. I don't know why my computer is doing this now. I think I need to delete some shit off my computer since I just got it a couple months ago. I put a lot of damn shit on this damn computer, so forgive me. But let's play this.
Okay. If you want me, I can share my screen and do it if you want.
I'm excited because
Michaela.
If it is lagging real bad, you could do it. If it's lagging, but if it's not,
it's lagging on my end too.
I don't know. It is lagging already.
Yeah, can you send me the link? Just send it to in chat.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let me do it. And that sounds like Oscar. Give me 1 second, everybody. The family is all here.
Oscar!
Oscar! Give me 1 second. Let me send John the link. I don't know why. Ever since the damn, my internet was strong. Then the damn tornado happened, and then my internet went down. So, you can call my internet provider and be like, bitch, what's Tino? Like, it's been like 6 months since this tornado happened, girl. Like, what's the Oscar?
Hi, can you hear me?
Oscar.
Hello.
Wow. Hello.
Yes.
Did you yes, we can hear you, Oscar.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, I'm late.
No, you're good. No, you're good. I just want to be comfortable.
And I love that.
So
how are you doing?
I am. I'm doing good. I'm about to be 43 years old in 2 days. I feel real good.
So exciting.
I don't feel good about this damn election season. I feel like Kamala's gonna lose, to be honest with y'all. I have very
Why
little
would you
hope
even put that in the air?
because I feel like people need to be prepared if that's the reality of the situation. I don't feel like people was prepared. What was it, 8 years ago now when Trump won the first go round? I feel like it hit people like a ton of bricks. Like it wasn't even a mental possibility for some people. So some people mentally imploded when it happened first go round. I just want people to be a lot more prepared of the things. And I also want, what I also really want is, and I think John can also agree with this, if Kamala does lose, I don't want everybody to be on their soapbox and be sad. I want people to learn the lesson of why this keeps happening to us. Like how we keep putting up these candidates that at least on paper that should seem like they should fit the bill, but when you really talk to them, like I was like the way people feel about Kamala, I can't lie. I felt the same way about Hillary. Like I hated Hillary Clinton. Like I could not stand her. I could not understand why the Democratic Party would put her up as a nominee. Like it just didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. So even though I like Kamala Harris this go around, I completely understand why people don't like her. I just don't understand why people can't put their own personal beliefs to the side, right thing, and just get this done to make sure this job isn't in the White House. But I've come to realize people are very entertained by Donald Trump and his nuttiness, so they're here for their foolishness. Like they're 100% here for it.
Did you send me the link, Michaela?
I did see you delete my friend. I'm so sorry.
You sent it
and
on,
it's only like
you sent it on Twitter.
Wow, this is so close. Oops,
I sent it on Twitter, yeah. Why? What happened, Oscar?
I forgot to mute my mic. I'm still outside. Someone walked really close to me.
What's the timestamp?
I am at 2 hours and 58 minutes into the show.
Okay.
And let me take off my screen sharing. And let's do it with John's.
What are you looking for?
She's playing a video. Do you want me to start it? Oh, she left.
John, what are you looking for? You were so quiet, I couldn't hear you.
No, she sent me a video to play. Oh, there she goes. She's back.
Child, my bad. My bad. My bad. Okay. So we're adding John Perry thing to the chat. Let's see. Okay. Did you do it? Oh, sorry, computer. You're saying I'm doing too much shit, honey. Yes, bitch, add it to the stream, huh? There we go.
What do you say? You ready?
I'm talking to my computer, yes. Okay, everybody can see it now. Okay.
Okay.
When she said,
you want me to start from the beginning?
Can you explain what this is?
My girlfriend doesn't have chest hair.
Let's play the latest TikTok first, and then let's play. I sent you the link to her TikTok, right?
Yeah, I got the TikTok.
I watched all the TikToks you sent me.
So we're talking about the first girl.
The one who went to the spa.
Yeah.
So what is this? This is Madison's response?
Yeah.
To that, yes. And then we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to get into politics.
Okay, let me play it.
But she has a very big penis. Correct. That's why I thought it could have been you. Okay. And she said she had a short cut. I know sometimes you wear a short cut. Not majority of the time. Not majority of the time. All right, let's dissect. So I know you didn't hear the first part because you were working, but she was saying it's a Korean bath spa, and on one side there's a side for women to enter, and on the other side there's a side for men to enter, and then they have their respective. Is this in LA? No, it's I can't remember where it was. If you guys remember where it was, just put it in the comments. But it was someplace else.
Jersey.
But go ahead. I'm on the fence with a lot of this because there are a lot of women that loosely use the term man. New Jersey. That was New Jersey. They loosely use the term man when it comes to us. So I be on the fence with a lot of their stories. Like when I'm hearing a lot of stories. But also so here's where I'm in a conundrum. Also, I know that the white girls be out there with low cuts and chest hair and mini skirts and shit, talking about something they transsexual. I do know that happens. I do know that.
Very true.
So I'm in a conundrum.
Kind of like the Planet Fitness.
Yeah, because I know that these things happen. And then I was just out at an event last night at Hope's event, and Hope was talking about how the aesthetics of trans women ain't the same as us. And I clearly broke it down at the dinner table after we were out eating last night, and I said, and I quote, "We know you trans. We know you got a miniskirt and a motherfucking chest hair and a low bro, and you told us you trans. We know this. Me as in you, and even as adjacent as Mo is, but Mo, we respect this. When you walk out there into the world, come on, they ain't as progressive as we are.
Yeah.
When you walk out there into the world, in this unprogressive world, and you got a low bro, what she said?
She said
you got a low cut, a chest full of hair, and a penis, and a miniskirt on. I don't know what the fuck you is.
Well, if you don't know,
I don't know what the fuck you is. I'm sorry, and I know there's people gonna tear me up like this, but I'm just what it is.
But you're right. I mean,
so, I don't know if you got on a low bro, a chest hair, and some nuts hanging out of a motherfucking skirt. Bitch, I don't know what the fuck is going on. You might know what's going on with you. You might know.
Correct. But for the rest of the general public,
you might know you trans. But my two eyes see the low bro, some chest hair, and a miniskirt, and maybe some nuts. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I can't get mad when people don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm sorry to the trans people who are more progressive than me and feel some type of way when I say this. I'm sorry to y'all, but I don't know. If my eyes tell me what the fuck I see, if my eyes see sir, I don't know what the fuck.
I'm with you though.
I don't know.
I am with you.
I don't know what you feeling inside.
Yeah.
I know what I see at the door.
So
Optics.
Is it what this person is doing right here?
Okay, are we allowed to pause or are we playing it all the way through?
Okay, whatever. All that shit. Okay.
I'm confused already. What the importance of her like identifying another person's gender in this context of the bathroom situation. Like she keeps harping on I can't tell.
Thank you. Have a good night.
But I'm struggling to find the importance in that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just confused.
The importance, in my opinion, in that is if, as a woman, right, you're supposed to be presenting yourself as a woman, right, and you're into a woman's space, but yet as a trans person, you're making this. And I know the girls hate this term, but it's a term, and I'm sorry, I bow down to y'all ladies a lot, but I'm not doing this. To the cisgender women, it makes them feel uncomfortable going into a woman's space, seeing dick and balls. I don't know how else to put it. Like
that is very clear to me.
And where I think T.S. Madison is coming from, where I'm coming from, where my commentary is coming from is, I just feel like presentation matters a little bit. Not fully, not 100%. It shouldn't be the most important thing. But if you're going to say that you are a woman going into women's spaces, be comfortable, but also make other people uncomfortable. And it's just a certain type of trans woman that I see this from. This is why I don't feel like I'm making a general statement. I feel like it's a very specific type of trans person that does this shenanigans. And it just makes life harder for the rest of us. Those are my opinions right now. Go ahead, John. Go ahead. Take it home, man. I see you want to take it home.
I definitely am not satisfied with how I articulated my question, but there's still something not clicking with what just her fixation on the other people, something's not connecting. But let's finish. Yeah, I just wanted to say I didn't like how I worded that. I wasn't satisfied.
So I think, yeah, I understand. Like you go into a space, right? The space is just doesn't. You don't own that space. That space is for everyone. So
Right.
therefore, you have to be conscious about how you are impacting the space. And so, if I'm going into a space, it doesn't matter if it's available to me or not. But if I'm impacting the space where everyone in that space is uncomfortable, I want to think about twice about how am I impacting that space. For instance, I just told this story a couple of days ago. I was managing a bar. It was a gay bar, and someone came in with a MAGA hat, right? And this is like right after 2016, so we were all kind of very triggered, right? And it's his right to come into a gay space with a MAGA hat. But I had a conversation with him. I let him know it's like, look, that's all your right, special way, but know how you are impacting the space. You know, how are you impacting this space? You're coming into someone else's safe space, and you are impacting it because you want to be provocative in kind of like in that regard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I completely understand that. But I'm also a little bit triggered because there's so much transphobia, right? There is a lot of transphobia. So I am automatically I don't understand I don't like how Maddie was saying, like I don't know, because like if this woman had saw Maddie in the locker room, right? Would she have described Maddie as a man? She
And
probably would
that's the
have.
hard part. And that's the hard part with this whole conversation, which is why I'm trying to be very sensitive, because I do understand that there is a lot of transphobia, and a lot of this shit does stem from transphobia.
Correct.
But then
Michaela, are
again,
you
you
able
also
to
like to
speak
say,
into your microphone more?
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to put some dab into my dab rig at the same time, so I'm trying to do two things at once. No,
I just
what
want to
I'm
hear
trying to say
every
is I
single
completely
word you have to say.
no. I completely understand what John is saying, and I do have mental space for that too. I do understand that that happens. There's so much transphobia in the world, and so on and so forth. I do hear that, but the part that where even where I hear T.S. Madison when she's saying that she's double minded on this issue, where I'm double minded on this issue too, friend, is what you said at the beginning. Though it feels like it's a certain type of trans person who's trying to be that white gay in the gay bar with the MAGA hat on for no reason, right? They're purposely
Yeah.
doing things
But the thing is, like, here's the
to.
thing. Like, I understand, but it should not be. I am correct. But that should not be a reflection of. That's not a first certain type of trans person. That's a certain type of person, you know. And so that's not a reflection of the trans community. That's a reflection of that person, you know.
And this
And like as opposed
and that's where I.
that. Well, here,
No, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm
if
so
that
sorry.
white guy who came into the gay bar with the Trump hat, right? I wouldn't say, oh, that's all white males, that's all white gay men in bars. No, that's not. I would say that this idiot came into this bar and impacted it and was trying to provoke people in their safe space, you know. But
But
I
you
don't
would say
necessarily
that's
know if
not
I
all.
validate.
But you
What's that?
But you would say that's not all the MAGA people in general act, right? If you keep seeing them act like that over and over and over again, you would
Correct, but that's
say
not
that
all trans
generally.
people though. That's not all trans people. Not even
But
close
that's
to
the
it.
no, but that's the issue. Those are the trans people that gets the media attention, and that's the and that's where
I mean, and I
we.
understand that the media is going to latch on to things that are provocative, right? But that's not all trans people,
Oh,
and you and I
absolutely.
both know that.
Oh,
And you and I
oh,
both know that. And so when you attack this one trans person, not even know if I can validate the way that you describe this person, and like I don't know, like literally the way that you describe that person is like it felt like it was a little transphobic anyway. And but I can understand, like I totally know that there are people, and I know there are perverts who are trans people, right? But not trans people are not perverts automatically. And I know people use that as an
yeah.
umbrella in order to. So, and I get that. I completely understand that. And like And it just seems so weird because, like, to me, I wouldn't like if I was transitioning, and I would try to be in a space where I'm comfortable. And if I'm making other people uncomfortable, then I'm not comfortable. So what the hell am I doing?
And that's
You know?
that's when I say a specific type of trans person, that's what I'm talking about. It's like an
Person though,
agitator
but
type
I'm
of
here at trans person, a specific type of person. I just want to like not label them as a trans person because we don't label them as a white person. We don't label them as we don't label them as a person of
well,
means.
we kind
We
of
don't
do because
label them as
that's what a Karen is, right? A Karen is a white person that's just a provocateur that can't mind her own business, that's purposely going out of her way to cause issue, right? And that's kind of what I mean. Like
But when you
it
say
just
Karen,
feels
you don't
like
say
it's a
white.
certain.
You don't say this white Karen. I mean, you don't give me like this. You know, I just don't. You're not. I feel that it's doing a disservice to the trans community to try to label this one person, this provocateur. If there was a provocateur, I don't know, you know. But
Exactly,
let's take it.
and that's the other half of that. I
It
just want to
literally
make
could have
that
been
very
Maddie. It
clear.
literally could have been Maddie just existing.
Because this lady could have just been in the spa, minding her own business, you know.
Exactly.
But see, this is where I take. No, I can't, because if you were naked enough so she could see your penis, right? And
Literally,
you
but
know
it
you
sounds
have
like
a penis.
she like it could have been like a girl actually. The girl could have had her towel wrapped around her, and then the lady could have just saw just a little glimpse of it. The lady could have felt like
That's
a
true
mustache
too.
going up.
That's true too.
You know, she could have been trying to mind her own business, and literally, the other lady is going out of her way because
That's
she's so
all
hard.
very true, and that's why it's so hard for me when I'm having this conversation, because I would love to always automatically be
Pro trans.
pro trans in these conversations, but then again, like Maddie says,
We know that girl.
it do it do seems to be a very particular type of girl that this is her kink, this is her thing. Like she likes to go into these
Michaela, are you talking
places.
about it's? It sounds almost like you're talking about how I've heard you describe in the past. I think like certain people who want to call themselves non-binary. Is that what you're talking about as well, or
Well, I
something
hope not.
different?
No,
Like
no.
people
My thing with
abusing the word
non-binary people.
trans and
Oh, okay. If you're
non-binary.
gonna put it that way, then yeah, I do feel like there are people who are now who takes no steps at all in the transition, who are heterosexual white men basically, but this is their thing now. They're calling themselves trans as a way to get over, get through.
See, the thing is, like, I think that is such a small percentage, small percentage. Of course, like, they're perverts in like every demographic. And I think those perverts in every demographic, right? There are more heterosexual, straight, cis white males who gain access to these spaces without saying that they're trans than there are trans women who
Correct.
are using it, right?
I
And we don't go,
1000%
yeah, and
agree with
so
you, but
we don't
that's
we, we
my
don't look we
issue
don't
with
say,
this
oh, these white
conversation,
males are
and I think
pervert. We don't describe them as that.
but see, and this is my issue with this conversation. This is what Maddie's issue again. I think is having issues with this conversation in the trans community with this with these with the modern way of people's thoughts of what a trans
We're gonna
person
always
is.
protect
There's no
them.
distinction.
Yeah, I understand. I'm gonna protect
No,
them.
there is no
I'm gonna protect
distinction.
the pervert in this, you know.
Correct,
Wait, do you,
and that's the issue. Go ahead, Oscar.
no, I'm sorry. I'm so impatient. I'm trying to find an opening in a lull in the conversation. But you guys are saying so many interesting things. I didn't mean to. I don't want to interrupt you. But
You know,
is there? Oh, I had so many thoughts, but I've already lost them because I've been holding them. But one of them was I was wondering if you know, if either of you know if it's like a thing that people claim or are transparent about, say trans people who use social media, where they are femme or they're trans women or femme non-binaries, but they like claim or are proud that they don't tuck.
Yeah, that's a whole new thing that I'm like the Dylan Mulvaney's of the world.
That was exactly what I was wondering. I was
Dylan
like,
doesn't tuck?
that's who I could see doing
Dylan
that,
refuses
but
No,
I
to tuck?
don't
Dylan
know.
has this whole thing of she doesn't believe we need to tuck as trans women. Tucking is stupid. It's causing harm to
But
our
does she tuck?
genitalia. Why would no?
I don't know if I disagree with her.
No. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if I disagree with her, but the fact is that like if we had
Okay,
we, I think hold on, but let me go right here, right? Like let me say this. Is that like I don't know if I disagree with her because I feel like if we would allow trans people to be comfortable in their own body, then that gender dysphoria would not exist. You know, because we have such strict guidelines about what it is to be a man and what it is to be a woman, is that we don't allow trans people just to exist in their own skin and their own body, and therefore they would probably love the fact if they weren't told that this is how a woman's supposed to be, and there's women look all differently, then like it's like when women in the feminist movement decided to like take their bras off, and it's like, look, I have breasts. This is what a woman looks like, and Dylan the same way said, look, I have a penis. This is what a trans woman looks like, you know. And learn and love that, as opposed to like having that huge gender dysphoria that every time I'm ashamed of what I look like. That's kind of weird.
Okay,
I mean,
that's one perspective. That's not the truth for everyone.
No, I understand that.
And I just think that's such a slippery slope because I thoroughly believe gender dysphoria is one of the things that makes me recognize a trans person. Like if you have no gender dysphoria,
I believe that too. Yeah.
Then I just don't believe that you are what I consider a trans person. Like
I'll make you a believer.
No, I also believe that the gender dysphoria. I also believe that the gender dysphoria is what kind of identifies a person as a trans, right? A trans person, right? But I think like if you allow a person to just be comfortable in their own skin and expression and say that women can look like this and men can look like this, right? And not like brainwash us into like kind of like social parameters of what a man or a woman can look like, then you don't have that kind of the gender dysphoria, because a trans woman can grow up with a penis and not feel that gender dysphoria anymore, you know? Because they know that trans women are beautiful with penises.
Well, that's a theory. We don't know that that's fact.
What do you mean by like theory and fact? I don't know. What is a theory? What are you saying?
You said like definitely that if there's no gender dysphoria in a trans person growing up, then they won't want to tuck because they'll be comfortable with their body parts.
Yeah. No, I wasn't saying that.
Like that's a radical idea. I don't know if I disagree.
I'm not saying it's a theory or a fact.
That would take so long to see the results from.
Correct, like 20 years or so, you would never know. But that requires a whole societal shift, wouldn't it?
And see, and this is where
that would be much longer.
Not disagree. Disagree is the wrong word. Where I just have a different point of view is that even though I don't feel like you should be ashamed of what your God-given body is, if you don't want to change that, I do also feel like, and this goes back to the conversation where we're having initially, and it's going to go back to where we're going to go later on, is I feel like there should be some kind of social decorum still. Like, just because I'm not ashamed that I have a penis, that doesn't mean I need to walk around and make other people uncomfortable with the fact that I have a penis, right? And that's that white male bullshit that I don't like when it comes to the trans. I'm so sorry, I just have to call it for what it is.
Honestly, I'm not quite sure that this is a white male though. I think this was a black female.
Wait,
a black woman.
Let her, I want to finish the thought.
No, I just
go ahead.
But I'm just saying it's still a mindset within the trans. I do think it was a black woman, but I'm just saying it's a mindset within the trans community, which is 100% white male privilege. Even from a black person, it could still be white. Where
male privilege.
I don't. I have. Well, it's definitely male privilege, where I don't feel like I need to do anything in society, but I still should gain the title of womanhood just because I said so.
Doesn't it seem like we're talking about like how things should be ideally and how things are realistically, like bridging that gap?
Yeah, you're true. You're right. You're right.
Absolutely.
I radically believe that if you go into a public space, you have to accept what happens in public spaces. You know, it's like, so if you go into public spaces where trans people are, and you know that trans people are there, then when you run into a trans person, you can't be surprised that a trans person is there. If you don't feel comfortable in that space, don't go in that space. You know,
especially when there isn't like a third option in terms of changing rooms or bathroom.
Correct. If you like, so like if you don't, no one's forcing you to go in that space. You decide to partake in that space, and trans people also exist in this space with you. So but I also understand so I understand that point of view. So if the trans person was literally just minding their business, doing that, but if you decided that you were like offended that a trans person exists in the same space as you, that's just a totally different conversation, you know. And that's what I feel like. You don't have once you decide to get naked. If I decide to get naked in public. Right.
No, but John, it's become clear that we all have different terms of what's acceptable, even in a locker room. Like Michaela has a different idea. This is just based off of what Michaela has said before. And I'm sure that person in that video, both of the people, like the narrator and the subjects or whatever, like everyone has different ideas. Some people would go in a stall. Some people would use a what's it called? A towel. And then some people are like just comfortable being naked.
Yeah, and we all do, right? And when I go into a locker room, I understand I'm going to come across all those types, but I consent to be engaging with, or I consent to be in the same spaces with those types when I go into that space. You know,
another like layer here to her situation in the video was that like this is a women's space in a patriarchy. Like that's like rare to come by and feeling safe. She talked about that, the narrator, and I understand that. So it wouldn't be like, it's not the same if it went the other way for a men's room.
And 100%, I feel in that kind of listening to some of my cisgender female friends kind of helped me change my opinion on this subject. It's because of that. It's like a lot of times cisgender women feel like men are forcing themselves on them on everything from abortion to who they can date to they have to get their father's approval for the man they fall in love with. Like everything they feel like
harassment, daily harassment,
sexually harassment, like all like everywhere they turn, some man is telling them what to do. And what kind of changed my mind on this issue is when they were like, and Michaela, I'm not saying that you are a man, but you do have a penis. So, you know, what category do you fall in, girl? And now y'all are telling us how to feel safe in our safe spaces. And that's not right either.
That's not true, though. That's a delusion, and I really can't entertain your delusions, right?
But you just how can you?
No.
Do you appreciate, John? It's unclear if you appreciate that you have a different perspective, though, as a guy.
That's not.
So I do have a different perspective as a guy, right? I do have a different perspective as a guy, right? But I also can be no, I'm not saying that they're. I'm not saying that they're. I'm not saying that their delusions are invalid. I'm just saying that they're not. That they don't feel them.
But how do you know that, like, that woman, for instance, wasn't like a victim of sexual assault by a man, and like it was literally triggering?
I'm not saying that she is or not, right? But the thing is, like, I can't control that, and that's your own personal struggle, and that's something that you need to work on. I can't be responsible for how my presence is making you feel for your trauma when I did nothing to that. Because what if I say, like, oh, I was traumatized by...
Wait, when did we say that it was, though?
But you're giving the responsibility to the trans person in this guy. And like,
how are we doing that? I thought we were looking at both sides.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. You guys are being completely fair here. I'm not saying that you guys aren't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, the kind of like for me to I guess, like, take into account or take into consideration your personal trauma or your personal delusions when navigating public spaces is not something that should be a responsibility upon me.
Oh, I'm just seeing all of Ladybug's comments. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
because like for instance, like I could say like I was victimized by priests, right? And I was never. But should I say that priests should not be allowed anywhere in spaces near me when I'm out in public?
But can I make a counterpoint?
That
to
is
John?
Philly, that comparison.
But
I don't like
but
that.
no, I got a very good
But I was
counterpoint.
traumatized though. I've been traumatized.
Hold on. You let
All
me
women. Women's spaces be safe for all women, including trans women. Thank you.
But what if? But just like you said, we don't have to. What did you say? What was your exact words? I don't want to misquote you now. We don't have to validate your delusion. Was that it?
I think that, yeah, correct. If your reality is delusional, then I can say that your reality is delusional. Even if your delusional reality is how you live your life and how you validate your feelings, I can say, look, hey, the way that you're viewing life and how it's impacting you negatively is not actual reality.
I agree, John. The woman. I didn't get what you were talking about.
Hold on, let me get this before it gets out, before I lose it. John,
Speak
and what
into
you're
the
saying
mic.
is so dangerous. What you're saying is so dangerous. Hold on, let me make sure it's. Oh yeah, it's on law. Hold on, can y'all hear me? Okay, John, what you're saying is very dangerous and very scary to me, because the women didn't turn around and was like, "Oh, okay, we're delusional. Well, then y'all are delusional because y'all were born men anyway. So then we should never be having these conversations with y'all. Y'all just can't come into spaces whatsoever." And that's just closed the door to that whole trans
But
women should
wouldn't
be
you
in
say
these
that
spaces,
that
because
is
once they do
already
that,
wouldn't you say that's already the reality prior to trans people saying that?
That's the reality.
I think the reality. That's the reality to begin with, and that's the law, and that's why I'm saying what John is saying is right. That's what the way it should be in the world. But we have to live in the real world, and if we want to continue to have the luxuries and the rights that we've always had as trans people, and stop getting our rights slowly but surely taken away from us, some trans people are going to have to
Run for office.
Thank you. Yes, trans people. You realize that like trans people are as diverse or as Black people and as gay people. That's like you have to have society like not view trans people as just one thing, you know. And it's just like what I'm hearing, Kayla, and what I really want to be like kind of like I like to stay away from is that like remember during the civil rights moment they were like, oh, Black people have to act one way. Black people have to be this way in order for us to be accepted in main society, right? And he's like, oh, you can't. You have to use your Black voice. I mean, you have to use your white voice when you're in society. You have to like kind of act demure. You have to act like mindful, whatever, you know. And he's like, well, there was only one way to be Black and be acceptable by main society, and that has stunted a lot of like kind of Black progression and Black kind of culture. And like we were offended. I mean, we were ashamed of the do rags. We were ashamed of like kind of like Black culture when that shouldn't have been the place. You know, we should have been living our truths. And there was no one way to be be Black or not. You can be Black is like a tapestry. You can be Black in many different ways. And society, white society, just has to deal with the fact that we're diverse. And now what I hear is saying that like trans people have to kind of like form themselves into like this way that is digestible, easily digestible to cis people.
In reality,
what I would say
that's the reality of being
a
trans person. It sounds like.
It is. I'm so sorry, John. That is the reality
I get it,
that we live
Ladybug.
in 2024.
And I understand.
What I would say, and what I would say is, I disagree with that comparison. To me, the comparison is the gay community. At one point in time, the gay community was just very, very, very promiscuous, where y'all was around here fucking behind trees and parks. Very.
We still are. What do you mean?
Very.
We still are.
Very. But the thing is, for when society really started to accept the gay community, it's when the narrative stopped being we're just happy, fun people that like to fuck a lot too. We're trying to have marriage. We're trying to. You had to not change who you were, but you had to change the perception of what people saw you as, right? And right now, that is where trans people need to get to, of changing the perception of what we're looked at. What we're looked up as are sexual deviants who's just trying to fuck these straight men, and who's all we good for is damn sucking dick and getting fucked and making porn movies and stuff like that, or being funny and doing people hair and being stylists and stuff like that.
Trans women there are some trans people who are like that, right? And the thing is, like, but the gay community didn't change. The gay community changed. The gay community is still the same that it is in the 70s and 80s.
I'm sorry, what changed the perception of the gay community?
What happened, what changed is that more people decided to live their life truthfully. And because more people decided to live their life truthfully, the definition of gay became more diverse. And now that is, instead of the cis person or that heterosexual person only knowing the gay person that they know who on TV, now Uncle Bob is gay. And I know Uncle Bob isn't which is this sexually promiscuous person, but there still existed the sexually promiscuous gay, and they were free to be who they were. But the reality of, society's definition of what it meant to be gay changed. That had nothing to do with the whole community changing, though.
So, Michaela, what did you think attributed to the shift in perception of the gay community?
The shift in perception of the gay community was, it went from being we should be able to live free to we want to be married, we want to families, and then
we want to be like straight people.
Like, maybe.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm not saying that that's not part of it. But guess what? And this is the difference between gay people and trans people to me. I feel like trans people should want to be straight. I just don't understand why. Hell, I feel like I'm a heterosexual trans woman, and I just don't understand.
What do you mean you are?
Period.
But why do you feel like trans people shouldn't be queer?
I'm not telling people what they can and can't do with their lives. I just don't understand why go through all this just to
be who you
are.
I'm
not going to go through all this.
Because that's not who you are, though.
And see, again, like T.S. Madison said, I come from a very old school way where passing was the thing. Like, and that's the hard part for me.
Why do I have to pass?
I don't understand that.
Lady Books, I also want to acknowledge the fact my privilege. I can be a little bit more aggressive on trans issues because I don't have to face the reality of being a trans person, and that's my privilege, right? And so like I can be like, oh, we should be gung ho, we should be like this. What's that? We should be like gung ho. We should be like, you should be aggressively yourself. But I don't have to deal with it. I'm a cisgender male who has.
Wait, Michaela said she's annoyed.
No, she said Lady
No. I said,
I'm
so sorry. No. I said, I'm so sorry, chat, that I've been ignoring your conversation. I've been into our conversation in the show. While John is speaking, let me read the chat. That's what I was trying to say. Go ahead, everybody.
But I have been approaching it like I could say, like, but it's also for the same. I feel that it's required of me, and it's my kind of like duty as a queer man to be a strong advocate, undeniable advocate for trans people, even when they cannot speak up for them because of their position, or because of their lack of privilege. Just like
even when you disagree with their opinions.
No, I don't. I don't disagree with anyone collectively. I don't know what you mean. Like if someone told me, a trans person said that, hey, John, you're doing this and it's making us feel this way, I would amend how I'm doing. I don't think Michaela, you're using that in the reflection of how I'm like rebuttaling. Okay, Michaela though.
Are you talking to me?
And I also feel like I'm so sorry. I feel like John's rebuttals are also a good thing because, as a trans person, I tend to speak to other trans people about these things. Like, I agree with what T.S. Madison saying. She's another trans person, right? And, I think it's important that,
there's also a very trans side that does not agree with the gay community on this issue. Like, I don't understand these girls who don't want to. What I don't understand the most is these girls who want all of this woman privilege, but you want to walk around life looking like a fucking man still. Like, why? Like,
Because women who look like men still get women's privilege. Like even cisgender women who look like men don't. It's like they shouldn't be taking away their privilege from them.
What is women privilege?
I don't know. I didn't make it. I think she's saying you want to be seen as a woman, basically. You want to be seen as a woman, but you don't want to pass or something like that. I don't know. It's really weird because like forcing trans women to pass is forcing cis women to be in a box.
No, but I do appreciate a point that Michaela's made in the past that inherently creates difficulties for other trans women who are, like that's basically comparing. I understand that like each person is individual.
I give a great example. At my job, I'm not saying I'm the most passable trans woman, but as long as I don't speak words, because I know my voice is deep, I could pass.
You're trans?
Shut up. I could pass with the rest of them. As long as I don't say nothing, if I answer the phone like, hello, this is Suburban Studios, how can I help you? I can get through for like a good 1 minute. But if you have me talking for longer than 1 minute, my voice is going to deepen up, and I know I'm going to get through. But let me not tell too much of my job. At my job, we're going through this program where the government.
Should you have to pass in order to be seen as a woman?
Is that the point?
I want to pass, baby. That's the goal. That's the goal. But anyhow, the thing is these two trans women who are staying at the hotel for a very long periods of time or whatever, right? And I could tell they're trans women because I know what trans women look like, right? But they were in very rough places as checking into the hotel. They weren't looking their absolute best, but I made sure that the whole staff knew that they were transgender and to not disrespect them because they would be disrespect. Because all the girls respect me because I again pass even though if they know or they don't know. And I'm sure because the managers know, and I'm sure they loudmouth asses themselves. I'm sure everybody knows, but they still respect my tea, right? But you're not going to disrespect the other girls in front of me. But again, I felt like I needed to tell people because just looking at them, you may not know what they are at any given moment in time because you might see facial hair and some box braids, or one day you may see no facial hair, some titties, and some hair down to your ass. Like,
But you see this in cisgender women too, though. That's the only thing. Like you see this in cisgender women.
No.
Does that invalidate their women? Oh, we know some girls like that. Some cisgender girls like that.
I do know some cisgender women like that, yes. Yeah, and I'm saying it doesn't validate their womanhood, no. But at the end of the day, they still don't have to explain shit to people, and we do. And
yeah.
Can I ask what?
Go ahead, baby.
Go ahead, ask.
Can I ask what made you want to say something specifically about them? Because it sounds like you're assuming they're trans. So why not be like, or not to say to anyone else, but for yourself even, I'm curious, why wouldn't you just treat them as like gender neutral or use they, them pronouns?
I live in Florida, and they, them don't exist to the people in Florida. I mean, they exist to the LGBTQ community in Florida, but like to like the rest of they don't know what they, them. People.
I hate that they, them is now like queer co-opted, because like it should just be a perfectly acceptable term for everyone.
Which it
Correct.
is.
If you use they them, then it's like, oh, I'm not a faggot, or I'm not like this and this.
I'm not
like,
queer. They them
not
before
that.
then was gender neutral. I don't
And the reason
understand.
why I know both of the girls were trans is because when I asked them, because checking into I saw their ID, I saw the damn name on the ID.
You're like, what are your
I'm
pronouns?
looking.
They were like, I am a trans girl.
I asked them what name they want me to put on their registration so they host the staff and call them that, and they both gave me. You could call me. Girl, don't say their real name, girl.
Women's
you call
names.
me
Okay.
Tiffany, and you could call me Jessica,
Michael.
and that's how I knew that they were like the girls. Like,
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you.
Because if they would have been like, oh yeah, you could just use whatever name was on the ID, then I would have just used whatever name was on the ID, and it would never been an issue.
Right. Exactly.
Want to continue, or you want to go into the next one?
Michaela, is it true that you don't like being called they them, even by like me or John? Where our intention is not.
No, I don't. Okay, this is what it is with they or them. I don't mind it unless
you're doing it to clock you.
Using it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I don't mind it unless you're doing it. Like, I just call people they them naturally anyway. It's like, oh, that's them. That's they. Like, that's just something I've always done naturally. So it never was a thing to me. But now I can tell people, like, don't call me no damn they them, and you see that I'm a she her, and you're doing it to
just because you refuse to call me she her. You refuse to call me she her, so you're gonna call me they them. Yeah, that's
I don't. Now if it's just that's Michaela, that's just them over there. Like, that's just something that I hear you say. Everybody, I don't. But let's finish listening to what Maddie has to say, and then we can move on to the next part.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. But no, I feel you. Because here is where I get into it with my own peoples. No, I need something to drink. Cocktail. Go over there and get me that cream, that this over there. Ain't no more. I want some brown. Here's where, and we're gonna close the show out with this because you gotta go. And I'm glad we closing out on this shit because I just don't know. I feel you understand what I'm saying? And I feel and ain't none of y'all gonna whoop my motherfucking ass about what I'm getting ready to say because I'm from a different time. I'm from a time, bitch, that we want to look like Lil' Kim, Halle Berry, Sanaa Lathan. This is what we want to look like. Yeah. You motherfucking new hoes want to look like everybody. You want to look like anybody you want to look like or whatever, and that's okay. But we still live in the big world with all of these fucking people. Yeah. And because we live in the big world with all these people, some of us don't have the money because I didn't have the money to transition. I didn't have that, but I did put a little bit more effort in trying to understand me walking outside. A motherfucker may fuck me. I may feel like I feel on the inside. Yeah. But a motherfucker may fuck me up by optics. Yeah. It don't cost but $1 for a big razor. It don't cost but $1. I'm just being real. It don't cost but $1 for a big razor. Now, if you want to be a hairy chest woman, okay, good. That's all right. I'm all right with that. I'm okay. I'm not taking away. I gotta say this, Craig. Don't make funny faces because this how these hoes drag me. Girl. I hear what you're saying. This how these hoes drag me. I'm not making. All I'm saying is, I'm not taking away that you are trans. I'm not removing you from the trans umbrella. I'm not saying that you are not a real trans. I'm not saying that.
But what you're saying is you can't go into a public space, a day spa, looking like Danny DeVito or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You can't do it. and telling these people that you trans and think that we
and expecting them to get it.
It's me as an advocate, an activist, and all of that shit. You think that I'm finna be out here windmilling to the ground, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm looking at you, and I'm like, okay.
That was me.
Is that Danny DeVito?
Okay. Hold on. I'm like, okay. let me evaluate what's going on here. Okay.
Damn.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's count the 10 here and say, okay, got it. Ma'am, and I'm going to say, ma'am. I gotta go. We gotta finish this. What you gonna say? Ma'am.
So that's an M on the end of that word, not an N.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Let's have a come to heart here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ma'am, I understand. I understand that you are trans. I respect that you are trans. I feel that you are trans, and I understand that you may not be in the financial space. You may not be in the financial space. You might not have the resources or whatever to give a different type of presentation. But ma'am,
however,
we are in the world outside of the world that we live in, because we live in a world. We're outside of the world that we live in. And though these people have done these things to you as an injustice to the world that we live in, the presentation that you've given to these people is different. Yes, we understand. We understand that there are all types of women. We understand that there are women that have facial hair that suffer from PCOS. We are understanding that. We are understanding that all women don't have breasts. We are understanding that all women don't have small backs or small shoulders, small feet, or they don't. We understand this, right? We understand this. The way society is, they're going to be harsh to you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to maybe nobody told you this when you were transitioning.
Right.
Society is going to be harsh to you in your presentation. They're going to do this.
Right.
I need to pull you in, niece, daughter. Sir. No, don't do that, Craig, because that's not sir. It's still niece, daughter, she, her. Because what you're doing now is you're invalidating them being trans. We're not doing that.
Okay.
Because they still are in their identity trans. Right. In their in their presentation outside in society, we still look at it with eye. Even when somebody tore me up and said, Madison, with all the surgery you had, with all the things, they still call you a man.
Right.
I said they can call me whatever they choose, but my presentation is on point.
That's right.
Those that know try to do this stuff to minimize my presence
and invalidate
my presence, and that's okay.
Right.
Because one thing I'm not going to do when I walk into the women's restroom, I'm not out of place.
Right.
If I walk into the men's room,
you're out of place.
There's going to be a disturbance in the
force.
There will be a disturbance.
Right.
In the force.
Right.
So you can call me whatever you choose, but my presentation says something different.
Right. That's right.
Go ahead, Mo.
Because I was going to ask a question, because me being around you, all of the trans.
And she made some points there. Yeah.
And that's all.
I think she made some points.
I'm not saying that I'm invalidating
personal growth herself.
I'm not saying I'm invalidating the way people feel. I'm not saying that I don't agree with you being a trans person. I'm not saying that you're not a real trans person. All I'm saying is we live in a world where people don't, unless you live in like these microcosms like in New York or California or DC maybe, people ain't for to get it, bitch.
and you can get really hurt with some of this stuff in some of these places. Like they killed this child in New York because he was voguing in the streets. Like you can get hurt. Like and it's not just me. Just it's not about passing. It's about protection. It's like I don't understand why some of these people do some of these things and then bitch, because in the 90s, bitch, a bitch would just kill your ass, bitch, and it would get no news stories. Your families would just have to detransition your body in the casket, and it was just a dirty, dark secret of how you died. But yeah, anybody else want to end this before we move on to politics? Oscar, then John.
She was such a motherly figure
I know, right?
in that moment.
It's like she knew how to talk to the children.
But she also was like claiming everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can feel
her invalidated.
or like desired.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she wrapped it up really.
I feel
really
like that was more inclusive than things I've heard in the past, where she was like, "No, you're not she, her."
She's growing. She's growing.
I think so.
No, I completely like I kind of ending in on what Maddie said. Like it was like a like look, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect your identity to just like if you are going into spaces and you are provoking these spaces, no matter what it was, either body odor or what you're wearing. If you're going to these spaces, disturbing safe spaces, right? You need to, and you're the one. You need to look at it, no matter what it is that you're doing to disrupt that space.
Absolutely.
And
that's a great way of
try to like not change because you just want to be yourself, and you just like I won't. You're being selfish now,
Absolutely.
And
absolutely go to a trans only spot and then be free. But if you're going to be with these cisgender women in these cisgender women spaces, you have to be mindful of how they feel as well. And I'm sorry, like when they go into a women's bathroom, they just do not expect to see dick and balls hanging out. They just don't. Like, and I just feel like even if they can respect your transness, you can respect them enough to like do something about that.
Yeah. But I also like I just want to like recap. It's like I mean, just kind of like I also don't want to put like all the onus is on trans people to change. The onus is also on society to change.
Absolutely, so. Absolutely, 1000%. Now speaking of changing, in about not this Tuesday. Wait, is it this Tuesday?
Yeah, 7 days from now. 7 days from now.
Oh God.
This is the last Tuesday before we know a new president.
Oh God.
Next week, 7 days. 7 days in the wake up, right?
I need y'all to wake the fuck up. Let me take T.S. Madison them down because we need to.
I'll take it out. Okay.
We need to wait the fuck.
Have you ever felt embarrassed for having had an opinion in the past that you don't have now?
Oh yeah. And this is about trans issues too. I remember I grew up with a trans aunt, right? But I remember the first time I came across a trans, but to me she wasn't trans. She was just like my aunt. But then I came across a trans person in the wild who was telling me that they were she used she her pronouns, and this is like maybe in 2008, maybe 2009, and I always thought I was being factual. I was like, but that's not factual. I know that you're a male and you're a him. I don't even want to say this on camera, but like I would just like literally argued her down about why she should not be using she, her pronouns. And I am so embarrassed by that. So Star, wherever you are in the world today, I'm sorry that you met me in that journey. I apologize. It was not upon you. I needed to do the work and I'm trying to do it. So I'm so sorry, Star.
Exposed.
I know.
That's a good one.
I'm so
That's a
sorry.
really good one.
Yeah.
I do have one. I'm kind of embarrassed about when me and Addicts used to do the show together, and he had his little beef with the Half In Half Out podcast, and he would say all kind of transphobic stuff about Blake, the host of that show. Now I do understand Blake used to say some horrible, horrible, mean stuff about Addicts, but as a trans person, I should have not allowed Addicts to say the transphobic stuff that he was
I
saying about
totally
that
missed that.
person.
And they're
I
like
did.
both in their 30s, right?
Oh yeah. Those who know, who knows. I'm not gonna put Addicts out there and say what he said because I deleted all those things from the internet. So hopefully it's not out there.
Have
But
you guys talked since? Have
it
you guys
was
talked since on the space?
who me and Addicts. No, he has me blocked
Yeah.
on social media still, so I don't have a way to get in contact with him.
You remember when he
But
came into the space? He was like, "Hi, Michaela." I was like, damn.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Michaela, there's always their email address.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you think that this space is right for you guys to have a conversation?
I
The
do.
one that happened, or
But
what do you mean?
Just to
like a
get on
private
cordial terms.
conversation,
Yeah, not like just
I
like you guys
do.
say, like,
But
Ladybug says
apparently
if you're
they
not
don't.
embarrassed
So
of some part of your past, Ladybug said if you're not embarrassed by some part of your past, then you haven't grown, and that's correct.
Oh, that makes me
yeah,
feel better.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So I was having a
Because
conversation today with a coworker, and she was saying about like how she would come across a friend, and she's like, the friend was like, "You've changed." She's like, "Bitch, I hope I change." She's like, "If I'm still stuck in the same spot, then I'm not growing. So I hope that I've changed."
yeah. Absolutely. So, part 2 of the conversation I want to talk about is why are so many minority people
That's a real quick no.
Wait, did
voting
no one make fun of
for
the woman in the first video?
Absolutely not. Very uninterested in that option.
Did Madison
Wait, huh?
not make fun of the woman in the first video?
I don't think she did. She kind of validated what her concerns might be in the best of light.
I
But I
definitely
also-
heard her validate, but like I'm just looking back, I'm surprised no one really made fun of her.
Do you think there was
Made
something
fun
like
of her.
do you think there was someone? Do you think there was something like to make fun of?
Yes, I sent Michaela my thoughts when I watched it.
Well, let's share them.
I don't even want to go back and remember, but I remember it was critical, and I was like, she's
a little much intense.
Oh yeah, I put it. That's a nice way to put it. That's not like
That was a nice way of putting it. But
it just seems so weird.
Like-
She felt like she was sexually violated. Like if she like.
I do. And
I
I
thought she
really
was being
feel-
really dramatic the first time I
and
watched
she's
it.
like crying through it. Shit, hard to get through the story, crying through the story. Like, girl, just tell the story, girl.
And I will say this, and I'm not trying to, but they do a lot of skits on the internet, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was a skit. I mean, they do a lot of.
You're
skits
so right. Unfortunately,
Acting exercise.
Yeah, I guess. So, John, my political expert friend, can you please explain to the people who's watching and who's gonna watch? Because, like I always do, I'm gonna record it live for YouTube, but then I'll download it and put it on Twitter. What's going on with this political season? Like, what's going on? You're a black man. Why does it seem like so many black men hate Kamala Harris? Why does it just feel like this is just this is just not going the way I thought it was gonna go? Hell, Joe Biden might have had a better chance than Kamala did at this point in time to me. Like,
but not everyone feels that way. So You want John to
Absolutely.
answer why you, Michaela, feel that way? Or
No, I want John to explain to me why does the energy in the room feel that way.
Okay. So it's interesting enough because like when this first kind of came out, when the numbers first came out about like how black men were kind of like abandoning Kamala Harris, there was a kind of like a pushback because like black men are black men are still the Democrats' strongest supporters, and they're not abandoning Kamala any more so than white men. So this feels like kind of like, why are you picking on black men because of this? Like, we are still holding our ground. We're still holding our fort. But then there's been a lot recently, especially over the last 2 weeks, to come across like how we have actually, as society, we have not really neglected men, right? In general, we have not, as opposed to like we've given women and little girls the space to grow and develop and to instill upon them that they can be anything they want to be. And we have kind of stifled, like kind of like, or not giving little boys the tools in order to hold on, like giving little boys the tools to kind of like to be big, I suppose. We've always assumed that they already have the tools because society has given it to them automatically, but we never really taught them how to actually to
are
do.
you reading something?
No, I'm just going recapping like a couple podcasts I've been listening to. For instance, and I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine about like this last night about how like white men feel like kind of like invalidated, and it's not just me. I mean, it's not just like kind of just like opinion about it, but you see that in actual reality. You see it because you're like, why are these white men, or why are men in general, why are black men in general feeling a safe haven with Donald Trump? Why are they listening to these charlatans, right? And it's because for the same reason why any demographic falls for these kind of like these fake, these snake lords, it's because they were the first people to say that we hear you. I hear you, and I'm validating whatever your beliefs are. And it could be delusion or it could be actual reality. But the fact is that they do believe these things. They do believe that in order for women to get ahead, some of the community believes in order for women to get ahead, they were taken away from men. That might not be actual reality, and it's not actual reality. But the fact is that is their reality, and they are navigating the world in their reality. They don't feel like they've been given the tools, and they don't feel like they've been given the options to be great. We haven't given that to them. For instance, like I said, like I asked a friend last night of like, if a white male had an issue with something real or factual, where is it that do they have a space for them? To like, I have a space as a queer black man. I have a space, But if I was, and I can promote my queerness, and I can promote my blackness, and I can live in those truths. But for white men, for white men in general, if we come across white men and we see them living proudly as white men, and we see that as something strange, and that's kind of unfortunate, So their reality, delusional as it might be, is when we're not listening to their reality and we're not listening to their fears and their desires and needs, we end up with something like January 6th. We end up with something that like they feel like, okay, you're not listening to me, I'm gonna start yelling now, and that's what happens.
Can I give a little pushback to what you just said?
No, of course.
Just a little tiny pushback. I don't feel like people aren't listening to the needs of especially white men per se. I feel like people are afraid of the needs of the white men because every time they had the control or the power, what came next was violence, rape, murder.
They haven't shown like they have a good track record. You're right.
Correct.
But that's
I don't feel like it's the not listening to them part that is. Maybe that's how they feel. I'm not going to invalidate their feelings, but I just think they need to understand that it's not that we don't listen to you, it's that we don't try it your way and your way don't work, so pick a new way.
Okay, so then how do we equip them with the tools in order to live in a more diverse, as opposed to just kind of like putting them down and saying that like you can't speak right now? Because that's a lot of times we do that. A lot of times it's like if like elevated, like a white man have to be what black men have to used to be, or black people they have to be extra special now to be seen. You know, other when I feel like
Welcome to what it's
I don't
like
know.
to be
I don't think
everybody
that's
else
true
in the
though.
world.
as I'm saying, yeah, but like it should, but and we haven't
And
equipped
and,
them. But we haven't
see, this
equipped
is the
them.
gap. But this is the gap. This is the gap for the white men who feel that way. Y'all all say y'all wanted equality, bitch. This is what equality look like. Now everybody is on the equal playing field. Now that you don't have this very special advantage of your white privilege in areas that space, you can't be mad at that. That's what the goal is, to
But
get
we haven't
everybody
equipped
to
them with
equal
learning how to
playing
deal
field.
with that. We haven't equipped them with learning how to deal with that. We know how to deal. I know how to deal with
Yeah,
that being like.
and you know what? And this is where I'm trying to be better, because I just was about to be like, so what? But I'm trying
I
to
have
be
no
better.
sympathy.
But no sympathy, having, and this is another point I made to my friend today. Having no sympathy, because having no sympathy and no understanding of that flight impacts me. It impacts you. It impacts Oscar. You know, because when we have no sympathy for their voice and their struggle, they start rioting. And when white men riot, it's not a good look.
Damn, I feel like we was just having this same conversation about white women and the damn trans people being in damn bathrooms that people just couldn't understand. This is the exact same conversation.
Leave me alone, Kayla. Okay.
But by no sympathy, I meant that I have no sympathy for them having no interest or like motivation in like
but just when you
bettering
said you had no,
themselves.
just like when you said you had no sympathy, John Perry told them white women, "I have no, I don't give a damn about
your
delusions
are not my problem."
Not my problems. I'm like, yes, they are your problems, because when they don't get their way, then they start rioting and picking and shit. And now we can't go.
And it's selfish. It's completely selfish. And Ladybug says, why is it the onus on people to teach white men how to live in a pluralistic society? Because if we don't teach them how to live, when they impact the world negatively, that impacts me negatively. It's like when we taught black men how to live in a pluralistic society, when we taught black people how to live in a pluralistic society. Because
But
when
some
they
people
are
would
not doing
argue
well,
that
we are
it
not
would
doing
happen either way, right?
What's that?
Wouldn't some people argue that it would happen either way?
Not to this extreme. We've never had a January 6th before.
We have, I mean, recently. Yeah, like a modern.
Yeah, we've never had that before, and so like that. But that was white men saying we have not been heard. We want to be heard, and because
Most
we're
of
not
the
being
violence in history is white men, so I don't understand.
No, I know. I'm saying the violence in history has been white men, but that's definitely white men shouting that, like, look, we're being neglected, and it's kind of true.
No, that's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought about that.
I don't think. Okay, again, I really feel like I'm.
Hold on. One more point before you make that space. Before you like at one point. But like this reception of this. The reception of like, look here, they might be a community that's dealing with these problems. The reception of it is like this. It's like they'll get over it. They'll learn how to cope.
No,
it's not our problem.
Or at least that's not my what I'm fair to say. What I'm fair to say is that I hear you, white people. I'm not going to throw your problems away in the trash. I'm not going to treat you the way y'all treat us. And just be like,
ma'am.
And just be like, ma'am, sir. Shut up. What I will say
exactly. You're telling them to shut up.
No, what I will say is this. With you, white man particularly, your issue is you are our biggest fear. You are what's wrong with the world. So for you to have an inclusive voice in the conversation that you want to have, that voice needs to change dramatically. And until you are ready,
we need to give them the tools how to change. How do we expect them to do something that they never showed? They showed us that they don't know how to do.
By the tools of like their own oppression, they can unlearn.
Yeah, Oscar. Now this is where I agree with Oscar. Yeah, you take
until they unlearn, we come across like these Nick Fuentes types, these Donald Trump types, who Nick Bosa's types, who think that like they're just gonna be aggressively and white men in peak form is not a good look. It's not good for me. I don't need you taking away my rights. I don't need you voting for Donald Trump, right? Because of the fact that you're angry and you upset that we're not listening to you. Now you're impacting me, you know?
But what if it's not that?
It's imaginary. Ladybug, it's imaginary. It's Ladybug asks how.
What if it's
how
I
are you
wouldn't vote
impacting
for a
her?
woman
That's
for
how they
president?
feel. They still correct, but that's how they
But
feel.
Oscar, we're gonna validate that point because that's where I'm at with this whole. I just don't think this country is ready to have a female president. I think we are more ready to have another black person be president than we ever would be.
We don't have one next week. We'll have one by next week, so it doesn't really matter. We'll have one by next week.
So, but I'm very afraid. I'm very, 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 very fearful.
We'll have one by next week.
What? Okay, I do. I don't want to. Because I don't want. Wait, I don't think I was. I have a story that happened at work, and I put it on my TikTok, and I want to play it for you guys. And I'm just going to play it from my phone, so it won't be no lag or issues like that. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. Let me find that first.
Did you send it to us?
It's just on my TikTok. Let me find it.
Michaela, are you telling people who you're seeing face to face, like asking them if they're gonna vote or telling them to vote?
Yes, I ask them every day at my job.
Me too. I ask you if you have a voting plan. I don't tell you who to vote. I just want to know if you're going to vote. That's all.
No, I tell them to vote for Kamala.
What about like
I'm checking
your family?
into the hotel, and one of the housekeepers walked past, and I guess the housekeeper and that guest knew each other some ways, shape, or form. And
I remember this.
Voting or whatever because I had on my shirt where I voted early or whatever, and they started talking about it. Then I'm assuming he was a gay black man because of his voice and mannerisms, but he could be 100% heterosexual. But for the point of this conversation, we're going to assume that he was gay, okay? So he saw one of the housekeepers, and he was like, "Hey, girl, did you go vote?" And she was like, I ain't voting this year." And then he was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to vote either because I was going to vote for Donnie, but he ain't talking about no stimmies, and I could never vote for a black woman named Coming her or some shit like that." And then she was like, "Yeah, like, y'all really want me to vote for somebody with the name Come in it?" And I'm looking like, I'm not going to say her name, but she has...
Say her name. Say her name.
Stereotypical black ghetto hood name. And I'm looking at his black gay ass talking about the reason they were going to vote for Donald Trump is because he was giving out stimmies last time, but this go around he ain't talking about giving out stimmies, so they ain't voting for nobody. And I got 2 points to say. One, to the Democrats, y'all lucky that y'all are pro everything that I'm agreeing with, because I would never vote for y'all asses either, because y'all are horrible. Because if this is the shit y'all let y'all people who supposed to support y'all think, like, you literally have Republicans up here, whether it's true or not, I don't agree with it, but the Republicans is like, hate the gays, and the Republican Party's like, yeah, we hate the gays, that's why we voting for the Republicans. Y'all have given these people no reason to vote for y'all, other than to be against Donald Trump, which, sadly, the people just don't hate Donald Trump the way y'all think they do. They're very entertained by that nigga. They think he's hilarious. They think he's funny as fuck. The people think the Republicans are racist, but they don't think Donnie is racist. They call him Uncle Donnie. I think after this election, once Donald Trump becomes president again, because I'm just mentally preparing myself for that to be the outcome, because it's the same thing that happened with Hillary. It's like it seemed like Hillary should win easily. But when push came to Trump, when people voted for Donnie, and I think it's going to be the same thing with this. It makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. I'm so sad about
More
this, but
people voted for Hillary.
people just don't like
Right?
Kamala.
Why don't they like? Can you ask? You ask me? Can you ask my question? Like, why don't they like Kamala? What is it they don't like about her?
From my understanding, from the people that now y'all gotta remember, I live in Tallahassee, Florida, which is real Florida. Like I don't live in Miami, which is like the state of Miami, or for a lot of the state of Miami. I live in real Florida, which is Tallahassee, Florida. The black people are mad that she was a prosecutor in the first place. That's the big issue, that she was a prosecutor. Part
So are they
two,
against?
they
They're
don't.
against like kind of like they're against like this someone working for the state.
Yeah, I guess I hear that a lot.
But when
that
when someone committed a crime against them, they didn't want people to be to defend their victims, or that.
I think that people were thought, or I don't know if it's true. I've heard people saying that she was more strict in certain cases that she was on compared to other federal prosecutors, and like she had a reputation for like putting people away for minor offenses.
Well, she wasn't a federal prosecutor; she was a state prosecutor of California, and
sorry.
I didn't know. I wasn't. I didn't mean to correct you. I'm putting the perspective out there.
No, thank you.
No. And she was also attorney general, so she was the chief prosecutor. And she literally was following the laws. I don't understand. Like, was she not supposed to follow the laws? Was she not supposed to do her job?
Yes, people are mad that she was very good at her job. That's I mean, no, John, that's you're laughing, but that's what I hear a lot. And I also hear a lot that they feel like she didn't do anything as vice president. And I'm like, what was she supposed to do as vice president?
Yeah. What was she supposed to do?
And they don't have an answer to that, but they don't feel like she did anything.
Can I ask you? Remember you saying like,
what about how she's like trying to the idea that she is trying to get a lot of votes or from different groups by like vaguely showing support for them, but not actually putting it into action, or when push comes to shove.
Like when she said when NBC was trying to be like, do you support trans rights? And she was like, that's the law. And
I would follow the law.
But like, do you support trans rights? And she was like,
I don't think she said that. I understand that's how you're hearing it, Michaela. But as a person who's a huge trans advocate, that's not exactly what what happened was. From my understanding of what happened was, like, she was trying to. There is a really, really, really transphobic ad that's going out there right now, and it basically is kind of like, I don't know if you know, there was like this Willie. She's like basically saying, don't support Kamala. I mean, don't support Kamala because she likes trans people. That's basically what the gist of it was, right? It's like, don't support Kamala because she likes trans people. And Kamala was like was rebutting that and saying, like, do you support trans rights? She's like I will follow the law, and the law. And she was saying the law is with the same law that Donald Trump followed. So what you're trying to blame on me is a law that Donald Trump followed as well. There were trans people who were in state custody who were getting money for operations of sex change operations. He followed that law. I followed that law as well. That's what she was saying, not kind of like, as I'm not distancing myself from trans rights. She's like, I'm following the law. The thing is,
but why couldn't she answer the question the way the reporter wanted her to?
The reporter didn't ask if you support trans rights or something like that. She didn't ask that question.
It was about gender affirming care, right?
For gender affirming care, for people who are in custody of the United States. And she's saying, I will follow the law.
I don't think that was in the part that I saw.
Because the whole thing was like she's funding sex changes for illegal aliens.
But my point is, why can't she just answer it wasn't like it based off of a lot of queer people that I know, they're like assumptions of Kamala that it would be an easy yes.
Yeah,
to that
that's
question.
the other thing. I get that a lot from the gay people. I get that a lot from the queer people who's not voting for her. They be like, they don't feel like she's black, but they do feel like she's Jamaican, and they don't feel like her Jamaican ass like
Wait,
hot
no.
asses.
I just wanted to make this extremely clear in that context of that
Now, I'm
film.
not saying that I feel this way now, friend. Before you get us, I'm just
No,
telling
not
you.
you. I'm just saying, like, I just want to make it extremely clear in the context. Like, you're asking you. It would be great if she would answer that question affirmatively if it was in a vacuum, but it's not in a vacuum. And I want to ensure that Kamala has been a huge supporter of the LGBT community. She was an advocate for same-sex marriages in California in 2008. She literally she was like working like kind of like grassroots in order to pass same-sex marriage to go against Prop 8 in 2008 in California.
We were just talking about what she was being criticized for. Yeah, she has done all these good things too.
It's not in a. I know. I'm not saying that. I'm putting that out there. Not saying that you weren't denying it. But
like I don't want to paint a bad image of her.
No. But I'm saying like in a context, like she in a vacuum, which is what she said the first time. In a vacuum, she's saying like, look, I do support that trans people should get the care that they need. That's what she was saying. But she's saying like since that was misconstrued and turned around in any way, let me answer this so that there's no way to misconstrue it. I will follow the law, and the law says today that trans people will receive the care that they need. And that's the same law that Trump has.
I disagree. I feel like that was in a vacuum. She was asked point blank. Like the reporter repeated the question.
I'm saying in a vacuum when she first answered the question. I don't know if you know when she first answered the question. That's the one that's being used against her in the Republican circles. She answered that question in a vacuum. And after getting hit over the head of that question being misconstrued and turned around in so many different ways, she's saying, "Look, you won't be turning this one around." And I will make it very, very. I would make it very.
There's another thing that she gave another interview more recently. I must not have seen that. Sorry.
No. So there was a quote by Kamala Harris and saying that she supports sex changes or she supports trans care for prisoners, basically.
Michaela, you saw the clip that I'm talking about. Wasn't it recent?
No, I'm not saying. I understand the clip you're talking about. I'm not disagreeing with that clip. I'm saying the reason she answered it that way is because because she knew it's not taken in a vacuum. The first time she answered affirmatively and aggressively.
Okay.
What he is saying is, in a nutshell, is that if she would have been like, "Yes, I support transgender people fully," then it would have been used as a negative ad against her because she was already an ad going against her saying that she's so cool with trans people. What Oscar is saying is, yeah, she should be like, yeah, damn right, I'm cool with trans people and what, bitch, and fuck our Republicans.
But we know that she is, but she can't be that because she's trying to win an election. We know that. We know that she is.
Well, it leaves room. We don't actually know what she's gonna be like if she's elected. So it's a lot of gray area.
I mean, you can look at her history. She's showing you the pudding. She's been that girl. I don't think what you
and this is you know what? This ties back to everything that we have been talking about this whole show of women having to conform in certain spaces, right?
Nisha, why are you not a fan of Kamala? I want you to vote Nisha.
Okay? You coming in here talking about like Kamala and Trump are both trash? I don't. But Kamala has done.
And that's the type of black people that I keep running into.
What more do you want from her? What more did you want from her?
Kamala and Donald are both trash. And
how is she trash though? What has she done? Anything equal to? Like, I'm open to the idea. Just let me know. I want to.
Wait. Can we just take a deep breath?
Yeah.
No, I'm not breathing.
Take a deep breath, shot.
But I do want to know why Nisha thinks why she feels the need to say that she thinks Kamala is trash in the chat.
I know. I'm glad she said it because I felt like for a second both Oscar and John both felt like I was just making this shit up. Like, nobody do this. And I'm glad.
What did you think?
Lesser of two evils. Which one is evil?
No, I know someone.
How is Kamala? Where is she evil with anyway?
Hold on, let me
So,
find it. Damn chat so I can put these comments on so people can see.
The lesser of two evils. Like what evil are you getting from Kamala? Evil, like one evil.
I know a lot of people who think Kamala is trash. If that wasn't clear.
No, I understand that, but I want to know, like, well, give
No,
me
to
receipts.
Michaela,
I need
because she said
receipts.
she felt like she was making it up.
Wishy-washy about what? Nisha, I'm sorry, I'm arguing with Nisha right at this point. What more do you want from her? Like, what, like, policy-wise, like, you just don't like her personality? Like, she, like...
Yeah, I'm not getting any clear reasons at this moment, but maybe she's typing
But
them.
see, I don't think there is a clear reason for most people other than they just don't really care for her really. And I personally don't know what it is.
Why do you
I
have to
don't know what
like
it
the
is.
president? They can be good at their job and you don't need to like them.
I don't like it's because of crazy. I can articulate, express, and directly why Donald Trump is trash. Like I can do that in reams of. I can do that, but when you ask someone what it is about Kamala, I'm just like,
who would ban you? Restream?
I'm gonna ban you, Nina. I'm Nisha. I'm definitely gonna ban you. I'm still a moderator. Let me go over to this YouTube.
Nina
She's not
Derval.
getting banned. She's not getting banned. But okay, these are the things that I hear from living in Florida, right? I hear they don't like her name, which is stupid. But this is what I hear, John. You're laughing, but I'm just telling you what I hear.
I'm laughing not at you. I'm laughing at her name. Like she has no control over her fucking name.
People really was upset when they started when because people thought her name was Kamala Harris, right? But then somewhere she started with like, oh no, it's not Kamala, it's Kamala. And I don't know, people felt like they did not like that at all. They felt like they were comfortable with Kamala.
Michaela, I think that's just a ridiculous.
Yeah.
Y'all are asking. No, see, this is y'all being elitist right now. Y'all are.
Wait, what did I ask you? What did I ask you? What did I ask you?
Y'all are saying I'm being ridiculous right now, and I'm saying.
I'm not saying you are. You are
not
the messenger for the opinion. The opinion is ridiculous.
Yes. You're not ridiculous.
And I don't
remember, John.
And
where
quite
did you live
honestly,
again?
John, I don't feel like
I lived like 2 blocks away from the Capitol.
I don't feel like their opinions are ridiculous because this is the voting Democratic Party, right? So these are the players that the Democrats have to try to win over. And if they're saying something, no matter how stupid it is, the Democrats need to fix it.
Okay, so what could I have done to fix it? Okay, hold on. Okay, well, before I want to
okay. One of the big things.
One point. Okay,
go ahead, Fred.
I'm talking. I know I'm talking. A man talking over a woman. I apologize. But
like, you're good.
Okay, like I get like it's so interesting because like we have a women in like a woman from Gen X, right? Who was put into power. Women, like, in order to rise up in power in that generation, right? You have to be like strategic. You have to be like kind of cutthroat. You have to always like kind of put on the air of something like you might not feel genuine with, right? And so we've forced these women to be like perfect, you know, and then we want to hold it against them when they aren't showing something of vulnerability. We want to hold it against them when they're not kind of like more human. That's because you grain into them that they can't be human, that they can't show emotion, that they can't show any vulnerability because like you wouldn't take them seriously, you know? And so now we've got them up to these points where there are presidential candidates now, and you want to hold it against them. Oh, I wish he was more human, you know, where Donald Trump can say some wild shit and still be trusted and still be respected, but Kamala Harris can't because of the fact that she's a woman. And that's kind of crazy, you know? That's why she doesn't. If she's not coming off as genuine, the genuine is because she's not kind of like she's been taught and she's been trained. And so, which she said something on the Breakfast Club when Charlamagne the God was like, some people say that you come off scripted and you come off like, you know, you come off like you're just too well read. She's like, well, that's called being disciplined. You know.
And see, I just don't agree with that. I mean, I love Kamala. You know, that's who I voted for. But I feel like you can be disciplined yet still entertaining is not the right word.
Give me a woman. Give me a woman who you say is perfect for presidential candidate.
Charismatic.
Oprah.
We don't know any of Oprah policies, and I bet you if Oprah
Yeah,
had,
that's
Oprah had to be
exactly.
accepted into those spaces, she would kind of calm all that stuff down.
But that's exactly what the people kind of want. I hear the people, they don't want politicians anymore. Like people who spent their lives over and over and over again, keep running for the same offices until they beat us across the head and be like, okay, fine, finally, it's your turn, bitch. Come in. Like I
Kamala,
really
and you think that's Kamala?
no, I think that's Joe Biden. Joe Biden. No, that's his name. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. He's a career politician. He's been in politics since like 32. You know,
People really dislike that. And with Kamala, another thing that I hear is they don't like that it felt like she was just given this, even though she was the vice
Michaela
president.
cannot be president.
Even though she was the vice president and should have been the second, but they felt like she should have had a primary process like everybody else. Like they feel like Joe Ash should have been retired and then give her like a year to
true. That's true. But it didn't happen that
primary like everybody else.
It didn't happen that way. But that's true. It's correct. It's true. But it didn't happen that way. And the Democratic Party has the privilege and the prerogative to choose whoever they want. Your voting for the primary process doesn't matter at all. In no way, shape, or form.
I just don't think
Nisha, you should be president. I want you to be president so I can run against you, Nisha.
I think the person who they wanted was either what's the guy from California, Gavin Newsom,
or Big Gretch too. Big Gretch is amazing. I don't know if you know Big Gretch, Gretchen Whitmore from Michigan, but she is a perfect example because she's a millennial. She's like one of the first millennials at the top, and so she can be vulnerable. She is like I am Big Gretch. I am tragic. I am all these things. She's a huge feminist, a huge womanist, but like she's like I am complex. But those spaces have been given to Michelle. Does not like politics, but we've given those spaces. Gretchen Whitmore is Gretchen Whitmore because
Michelle Obama could never win because of Barack. We saw this with Hillary.
Gretchen Whitmore has been given the space to be Gretchen Whitmore because of the fact that women like Hillary and because of the fact that women like Kamala Harris have existed.
True.
I don't understand that about what you said about Michaela.
Oh, people would use Michelle's presidency to be a referendum of everything they disliked about Barack Obama. So no matter what she herself actually did or said, they will use everything they disliked about his 8 years in the White House against her.
Not only that, she doesn't want to be president.
But I don't think that would necessarily make her unable to win.
She hates politics. She hates it. She says
she's not gonna do it.
Yeah,
or that's what she says. I don't know. Are these people liars?
I don't think there's a strong enough Democratic voting bloc. I don't think no Republicans will vote for her to win.
But isn't that because not to call anyone out, but like Nishas don't want to vote, but they would vote for Michelle?
Nisha say on paper she will vote for Michelle Obama. But once they start dragging Michelle Obama through the
4 years when Michelle Obama's running against Trump, she's like, they're both evil. They're both trash.
Yeah. The issue is she's a woman. Like they don't need another. I hate to say this as a woman, but
yes, they did.
Yeah, they did.
I think they did.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, they did, Nisha.
Oh,
understatement of the century right there.
That's yeah.
Put that on the screen. Okay? Put that on the screen, please.
Okay.
It's not too late to delete, Nisha. You can delete.
Oh, it's too late.
They hold the fact that she still stayed with him after he cheated on her. They held that against her. That's crazy. Right?
They're gonna use that Michelle Obama is a bad mother. She have one of her daughters smoking cigarettes, her other daughter hanging out with white
They will
boys.
attack a black woman for no. They will attack a woman for no reason.
Yeah,
They don't
they
need
gonna
nothing to
they
attack her
they
on.
gonna
They will
find some
something.
shit.
Yeah,
They gonna
they will
find some shit from
That's why I'm saying it
1970.
doesn't matter if it was the criticism was be linked to Barack or not. Like she was gonna get it no matter. She would.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, she would no matter. She would get it no
it
matter
would
what.
need to be somebody who they don't know anything policy wise for the
About
person,
yeah, yeah,
like Oprah or
Oprah. Or
Hillary
someone who's
did
already
win the
beloved,
popular
like
vote.
Oprah. What's that? Yeah, she did win
Oprah
the
have her
popular vote.
haters now.
Yeah, I think Hillary
Oprah's
got
starting to have
more
it.
votes.
No, not even like she got like millions of more votes and by like 3 million. She won by like I forget
Yeah.
like the popular vote.
But we don't do elections by the popular vote, you
Popular
guys.
vote.
We do
We
it by
do
the
we do it by
electoral college.
DEI. The states have DEI.
Who would win if it was like
Yeah, 3 million. She won by 3
Trump
million
versus Rihanna 2032?
Ivanka Trump, Rihanna.
No, like Kamala wins this election, Trump runs again in 2032 against Rihanna. That's when she's ready to run.
Girl, you know what?
Could she defeat Trump?
This is a joke, right?
No.
But I'm gonna long for the cool thing about Trump is that like Trump has opened the door to like different types of people who being able to people with a lot of mistakes in their past. You know, people with like a lot of like you can still run for politics. You know, if you're like Rihanna could run for president no matter like which the fact that she clearly has been high multiple times, you know, clearly, you know.
Oh, she's also, I don't think she was born in the US. Sorry.
Oh, no, I don't think she was either. Yeah, you're right. She's not eligible.
What about Beyonce?
Did you see Beyonce's speech?
Ooh, I don't. Ooh.
Someone said it was giving Pan Am from the Hunger Games.
I think Taylor Swift could do it, but not Beyonce.
Taylor Swift's so much younger. She
No,
could
she's
never
like
get my vote.
38. Isn't Taylor Swift like 38? 1989. She was born in 1989. She's 33, sorry. Why I know that. Don't ask me why. I really hate Taylor Swift. I don't
everybody
I forgot this.
Everybody in Florida, you have to vote yes on Amendment 3. That is to legalize marijuana on the recreational level. Y'all gonna make that shit happen, but then y'all gonna do some dumb shit and still vote for Donald Trump in Florida. I have no worries. I can't think of any other big amendments or anything else going on in the country right now.
Do you guys all have voting plans? Do you have a voting plan, Oscar?
Yeah, I guess. I know where I'm gonna go.
Okay. How about you, Michaela? You have a voting plan?
Sure do. I already voted.
Okay. My voting poll is across the street from where I live, so I'm excited for that.
Period.
The last time I voted at this place, literally I walked right in and was out by 10 minutes. And the crazy thing is, DC is 97% blue. 97%. And I tell you, like, and I've been so spoiled by living in this bubble that like I've only lived in Los Angeles and DC and like as an adult for more than like 2 years. And like I take for granted that how liberal this place is.
Come to Florida.
I know. It's the gayest city. It's the gayest city in America, and it's the most liberal city in America. It's really crazy.
Have you been to Orlando?
Yeah. I would never go again. I've been twice, and that was 2 times too many.
And you went also, Michaela?
Orlando is pretty liberal. You don't think Orlando is liberal?
No, I know Orlando is liberal. I'm talking about it looks like a fucking trailer park.
Oh.
It's a strip mall. The whole thing, Orlando is a whole one strip mall.
That's where the Pulse nightclub is, right?
It was there, yeah.
Used to be.
Oh, it shut down.
I don't think it's there anymore.
Yes. I don't
It
think
got
they
shot
ever
up.
reopened it after the
The
Bang
shooting.
Bang shoot. Yeah. They used to have this other big club called the Parliament House, but I think that shut down too.
Parliament House is still there.
It is? Oh, okay.
I think so. Parliament House is still there. It's like a hotel and everything.
If you could live anywhere in Florida, where would you live?
Oh, it's
Me?
closed. It's closed. Oh, not only is
Yeah.
it closed, they bulldoze it down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's
That
That was
was
to you,
crazy.
Michaela.
Oh, I would want to go back to Miami. Most definitely. Well, Fort Lauderdale.
And are you living on Miami Beach? Where are you living?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. I'm living 30 minutes away from the beach in like the suburbs somewhere where nobody where could have land and shit, like not be around all the young people.
Oh, that sounds so nice. But you're only 30 minutes from the beach.
And then probably 30 minutes from the beach I could live on the lake so I could feel like I'm at the beach every day.
I used to, for every Black History Month, I would do like kind of like every day in Black History Month. I love Arkansas. Arkansas is really kind of cool. One of my aunts lives in Arkadelphia. Sorry, Nick. But anyhow, I would do like kind of like this my story for that day. It would be like a tribute to some part of Black America or Black experience or something like that. And one day I did it one day a couple years back on Black Florida. And like kind of like that whole like kind of area, the bayou, and like kind of like that kind of Tallahassee, that kind of like it is beautiful actually, you know, it's beautiful. Like kind of like the areas where Trina came from, the areas where kind of like Big Frida came from, or something like that, kind of like that influence, you know. I don't know if sure Big Frida came from that Panhandle, Florida, but it was just like I was like, oh my God, I'm missing so much history. It reminded me a lot of my growing up in LA, you know? It's kind of all similar.
Is it that same
North
aunt
Florida.
that lives in Arkansas?
No, my aunt lives in Arkadelphia. It's every time it's like going like home every time I go see her.
Is it that aunt that you mentioned earlier?
No. My trans aunt lives in California. Yeah, if I come to Arkadelphia, it's on. It's on, Nisha. You hear that? It's on site. LSU will be going down.
So you guys, to close the show, because this was a very interesting show. I cannot wait to put it on Twitter. Have y'all seen the Simone Biles documentary? And what
No,
are
I haven't.
y'all
Why haven't
opinions?
you want to watch it yet? I was waiting to like this weekend to watch it.
I watched it.
Is it good?
I have.
It was I really when I watched it, I thought it was better, and as I sat with it, I'm like, it's gone down a little bit.
You thought it was what?
Like, I remember when I watched it, right after I watched it, I was like, okay, like 4.5 stars out of 5, and now I would give it like 3.5.
Oh wow, it's not that great.
It's not that memorable for one thing.
Was there anything like teased from the Olympics that we should have known about?
Definitely worth watching. Don't get me wrong.
Anything that you want to mention?
Well, it was interesting since you mentioned the Olympics, specifically seeing her. They showed a lot about how much pain she was in when she injured her calf in qualifications.
Oh, so she injured it in qualifications? I thought it was before. I thought
I think she had already tore her calf and then she tore it again or something. It hadn't healed, or maybe it was a secondary tear.
And so it wasn't just for show, because Nisha said it was for show when she did it in a qualification.
No, she thought it was her Achilles. She was like, I mean, she was able to do everything, you know, she didn't really wipe out on anything, even once.
I mean, she almost went 16 for 16 except for one. Oh no, actually, would you consider her going for 16 for 16, or did she have 2 mistakes?
No, she fell in the beam final.
Yeah, and would you consider the fall? Did you consider the error on bars as hit?
Oh yeah, and the all around.
Yeah, is that a hit?
Yeah, she didn't fall.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did take the deduction, but I didn't see a fall.
No, I don't think she fell, but I'm saying, would you consider it a hit?
No, I
Yes,
would
'cause I think you
consider
have to
her
kind of fall
floor
to not hit.
from event final more of a miss.
Not a hit, right? Yeah, she had a whole point, almost a whole 6 cents, right?
I really liked in the
Yeah,
third
then her,
episode they showed Jonathan and Simone having
Nisha
like
said it was
a little
for the
fight.
show, and she said what she said.
Who? Jonathan Simone
Nisha
had
said
a
it
fight
was
about
for the
what?
show.
In the third episode, it was like the day of Olympic trials, and it was the morning before, and Simone was getting ready, and they just fought over nothing. But Simone was just like being really cunty. Jonathan was so like he didn't get mad at all. He took it all.
I have respect. He's like, look, it's not my time. Like she needs to vent. Let her vent, right? Do you have a different opinions about Jonathan since the did he come
They
off well?
They addressed how she was really like they didn't read anything nearly as bad as that I saw online, and I know even worse stuff exists that I haven't seen about Jonathan. But she did address the interview, and like she read some comments that were like just pretty mild, and they were all like Mr. Biles, Mr. Biles, Mr. Biles.
If I was married to Simone Biles, I would be Mr. Biles all day. Like what the fuck? I guess that's
What
why I'm not married to
else?
I guess that's why I'm not married to Simone Biles, right?
There was a really funny moment that I posted on Twitter where Nadia is like, no one remembers the second person who to land on the moon.
And no one remembers. Oh, Nadia Comaneci said it, or
Yeah,
Nadia?
because she said no one remembers the second person to land on the moon, as in the second person who got a perfect 10, who's Nelly Kim.
Yeah, who was the first
Who
actual
also
person?
she was not successful in being reelected to her position as like vice president. So she has no place in the FIG right now for the first time in years.
I mean, God don't like ugly.
the guard, it's a change of guard or whatever. Changing of the guard.
The way that they handle, I don't like. Who would have thought on the last day, on the last routine of the Olympics, that it would result to like what's happened since then? You know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I want to. What was your favorite moment from the Olympics? What was your favorite routine? What was your favorite?
I probably can't remember it right now, so I'm gonna give you one that I can remember because I really haven't revisited it.
Mine was like Suni's floor after she did the Chuzo, and like this the light on her face, and like even when she does this position, like I've watched it so many times, she does positions where she's leaning on the floor and she's like her legs out, and she's kneeing on the floor, and then she just like kind of like melts like water, and I was just like, oh my god, she just feels so.
Which day of competition?
What's that? It's an all-around final.
She had a really good beam in the team final, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she had a 14-4, I think so, on the team final.
I want to say 14-6.
From the Olympics was Alicia D'Amato winning beam.
That was such a tragic beam.
It was.
Yeah.
Yay, Alicia D'Amato.
But
you know
did you
what
know
I
that,
think?
what you call it was the one who handed her? Oh, we listened to it. Was the one who handed her medal?
My lasting impression after not rewatching the Olympics is even the routines that it felt like in general, basically, and especially compared to past Olympics, the routines that did well in terms of medals, they had an error in them. There weren't many flawless performances.
I can agree with you on that. And it was also a very Rebe Simone Suni Olympics. Like,
no, we had every event medal had a different country.
I would say Bars gave the most flawless performances.
Oh yeah, that bars finals was good.
Yeah, everyone had to be on, but even then, even Namora made a couple of errors. Like she wasn't as perfect as she had been the whole season.
Well, it was her best score.
Oh, was it? But she definitely had errors there, right?
I mean, like, yeah,
Like
if
she
you
went
watch
over
it
the
back, but
handstand one time.
when I watched it in time, I
Uh,
thought it was the best she could do.
Like she went
I'm
over the
not gonna say
handstand.
this is my favorite moment, but this is the most memorable moment for me for the Olympics is France
Yeah,
flopping.
Melanie. Yeah,
No, I don't think about that.
Melanie Ford last fall was cunty. It was so cunty.
What do I think about? Like, everyone on the beam podium and floor podium had at least one mistake in their routine.
Oh, vault
I
final was real
I
good.
loved An Chang Ok in the vault final when she stuck her vaults and she got fourth place.
Yeah, I know. She stuck her balls, and I thought she was gonna get over Jade, and she's still like, I was like, wait, the form was that bad in the air?
Yeah, it was.
What was the best moment from team finals or qualification?
So team finals for me was Brazil, was like not going into final rotation and not being in medal contention, but still eking out a medal. I was so hoping for. I wanted Brazil to still be on that team final.
I had written them off, I think.
By that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their last event was vault, right?
But it was kind of a letdown that they didn't win silver.
It was, but like I was expecting, I wanted to win silver, but I had written them off. I thought that they were gonna win.
Yes, that's what it was for me. I was like, you won silver last year, you should be able to do it this year.
thought the Italians. Oh, Flavia hurt herself, so she wasn't at her best.
I think they counted a mistake on beam.
Yeah. It was. Did Flavia fall on? Oh, she fell in on qualifications on beam, right? She didn't fall.
No, she hit beam, I think.
She fell. She hit beam in finals, but in qualification she fell. That's the reason she didn't make the team final. I mean, that's the reason she didn't make the beam final.
Yeah.
And then she watered her floor exercise routine down to nothing.
So what were the best? You talked about like moments, but now like routines.
Kaylee no more on bars, obviously, and Chuchuan. I mean QQ. Sorry.
Were there any good performances from qualification or team final that maybe didn't make another final?
Who was the girl from Africa, Zimbabwe, right? She had a really good bars.
I would say this. I remember this that Jordan Childs was rocked for the all-around finals because they was giving Suli.
Look, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that around here.
I know, that was crazy, and we were watching together, I think.
Yeah, I was like, we were like, we made it by like 2/10. They need to do away with 2 per country.
And none of us were convinced that she earned her score.
No, I was convinced. What are you talking about? I was Suni always. Suni, if you're listening, my future wife, I was always on your side, girl.
I can't believe Suni still lives in my city now.
Suni, I'm going to be on your side forever and always, but Jordan beat you in qualification, girl, and you know it.
I don't know.
But you was the better choice. I would have, if it was the damn Marta Curler era, I still would have subbed Jordan out and put your ass back in for the all-around finals either way, but
you would have ensured that she didn't qualify, right? Somehow.
No, I would have let Jordan. I would have let Jordan do her thing. Now, if Jordan would have beat Simone, Jordan got to go to the all-around finals. But Jordan beating Suni, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
How do you think Russia would have done if they had sent a team?
They would have been in 5th place.
How do we have it so long?
5th place? Who's in 4th place? Behind GB. They have 3 DTYs, great bars.
Melnikova was injured at that point in time. They would have been in 5th place.
How do we have it so wrong in 2020? Why did we have it so wrong?
What do you mean?
why didn't we build a team that could beat Russia? Like we just were starting from behind. It was just like it was like in 20. It was like the same thing in
Jay
20.
Carey.
Was 2000. Oh, we didn't put Jake Carey. We didn't put our best floor and our best vault, our second best vaulter on the team. Right?
Correct.
But also, like, we were competing with 3 gymnasts.
No, but even Simone at her best, we really didn't have a shot for gold, right?
Oh,
No,
I
Simone
totally
scored.
disagree.
Yeah, with Simone scores, if she hadn't have fallen, she would have just been her average self. The USA would have won by like 2 points. But without Simone scores, see, that's the issue with USA Gymnastics. They rely on Simone Biles too much.
But I think because they qualified, we only qualified in second.
But Simone had errors in qualifications too.
Mm-hmm.
Big errors.
Like she went out of she went out of bounds multiple times, right? And
she went out of bounds on her first vault. The vault that was counting.
She landed her bars dismount really wonky.
Oh.
But she still made the final. On beam, she took like literally 8 steps on her dismount. And on floor, she flew off of the mat.
Oh yeah, like she went off of the game like that. Is that still just a 3/10? What did you?
But then you deduct for each step to get back onto the mat.
Yeah.
You can deduct for each step too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was maximum. I thought you can only. I thought they you can deduct for the landing.
No. The maximum is true. Both things are true.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like 8/10. I think you can take 8/10 for a scale without falling.
The maximum you can get for a scale without falling is 8/10. So,
but that doesn't include the neutral deduction for going out of bounds.
Correct.
How much was the neutral deduction for that? Do you remember?
It's 3/10 if you go with both feet. Or if you
but if you take like 10 steps behind,
then you would take. But if you get 0.3 off and 0.8 off.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh dear.
A 0.8 deduction and a 0.3 neutral deduction.
How do you get 0.8 off of a skill that's not even worth 0.8 though?
Ask a lot of people. They do it all the time. And that's when gymnastics was real, because you used to get deductions used to be worth more than the skills used to actually be worth. So that's why when somebody used to fall, they used to automatically go to last place because the deductions was worth more than the skills was worth.
There were no E skills or F skills.
Not until they didn't get E skills in the women's quota points until the 97 to 2000 quota points.
And were there ever F skills in the 10.0?
No, not for the women.
So you could just negate the value.
What were the skills worth? Were they did they go by the traditional 0.1, 0.2 ABC like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you couldn't get it. You couldn't create a difficulty over 10.
No.
Well, you can, right? But you would only get a 10.
Yeah, I mean technically.
Okay, certain vaults wasn't certain vaults like worth 10.1 or something like that.
In the JO code, I think you can have routines that start higher.
But it would be good because, like, if you miss a combination, you have that backup 2/10 to rely on. Like,
yeah,
that's such a good point. I didn't think of that, or I think of it that way.
So you can mess up and still get a perfect 10.
Correct. The girls in the 80s was doing it all the time. All the time.
Has there been an American? What was the last American 10?
No, but that's not true. That's not true. I mean, yes, what you said is true. The girls were making mistakes and still getting 10s. But if you make a mistake in theory, you're just losing the D score. You still receive the execution deduction.
Yeah.
Right?
It depends on what the mistake is. Like, if
what are you thinking of?
Like, if you were supposed to do a 1.5 pirouette, but only did a half, but you have the extra 2/10 of a point in start value, and you really didn't get a deduction on your half turn, you should have no effect on your score.
Agree. Yeah.
But that's still a perfect. That's not, you didn't really mess up. It's just like you just basically reorganize your routine. That's not a mess up, is it?
Yeah, that was an interesting example.
Yeah, because you didn't really mess up there. I mean, you didn't do your
But that,
you did
but that's yeah, you didn't do an element like you were supposed to do a 1.5 turn, which was a D. You only did a half turn, which was a B. But your start value still didn't change because you had an extra 2/10 in your routine.
So why would I do an extra? Why would I do a 10.2 as opposed to doing a perfect 10? If I can
In case the judges doesn't give you credit for something, in case something was close.
Oh,
I feel like there's more reasons than that.
I knew that. I didn't know.
Risk, originality, virtuosity.
I knew in Vault. I know of Vault people were doing 10.1s, but I didn't know that people were doing higher than 10 points on other events, like on purpose.
I mean, what if you need to do a double back as your last skill, but you already fulfilled everything else in your routine? But
so you do a double layout.
So you have no. What if doing the double back at the last is your last skill is give you a 10.2 start value by accident?
Okay. And there's nothing else you could do. Like double back is the easiest double you can do, you know. And so then I would take out something that I could execute. So instead of doing a Gojin, I would just do a Tour.
Well, according to Jordan Childs, they don't like doing torture taste. They like doing Gojins. John Perry, you asking where the white women at? Oscar right there. I just took it.
John Perry.
John Perry. I'm so sorry. Johnny. So used to saying John Perry for everything. I'm just
always blaming the black man.
Always blaming the black man. Always blaming the black man. But you guys, this is a real fun episode. Why are you saying no? We've been here for 2.5 hours talking about them.
I came late.
You came like 30 minutes late, not even. You've been here for 2 hours.
I know. And I'm tired. This was fun. I plan on adding this to the rotation. I'm gonna call this my Rainbow Roundtable. I have a woman who I'm gonna ask to co-host this with me with Oscar. We're gonna bring John Perry. We're gonna talk about a lot of LGBTQ issues more. You know, me and Addis used to do this, but me and Addis don't do a show together no more. So, you know, I have to bring it back over here in some way, shape, or form. I know in December they're gonna start doing what do they call it? Inter-squad meets, like televised. So that's to look forward to. They had some little mini World Cups over the last couple of months, but I ain't paid them shits no attention. So I don't know what happened. I know Charlotte Booth was at one of them bitches. That's about
Khalees won a competition in GB recently. She won the all-around with the 52.
Hey, Oscar said Khalees went to GB and won a competition.
Are there is there a big difference in scoring for this quad? Are we seeing a lot of difference in scores?
I don't know.
Well, the scoring difference that happens in January.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But we have Swiss Cup with Leanne and Julia Suarez coming up.
Oh yeah, that comes up in like the middle of the month. And
I was sad to learn that Donnell was supposed to go. Donnell Wittenberg. But
that's the paying one, right? That's the paying one. That's the one that pays you, right?
Yeah. Leanne said, send me somewhere
that pays. Give me the money.
The winnings.
So they normally send the alternate to that Swiss Cup thing, so I'm not surprised.
Well, Jade Carey went to a Swiss Cup recently.
But she was trying to
I guess she was the world alternate that year.
Yeah, that's true.
Jade's Carey's, and I just want to say Jade's Carey Olympic trials floor. If you go back and bless yourself and watch that again, it's so interesting watching the Olympics and like the Olympic trials on the other side of it because you don't have the anxiety of like figuring out if your best is going to be best, and so you can just enjoy it for what it is. and you were like, "Oh, how did I miss this? How did I miss you being so cunty?" Like,
Jade
That's why I've
Carey's
been
Olympic
reposting those.
qualification floor.
what's
That's
that?
why he said Olympic trials floor.
I
Yeah,
said
Olympic
Jade
trials.
Carey's Olympic qualification floor.
No, or Olympic trials floor.
That was not country. That was not country.
What were you saying,
at all.
Michaela? Though?
That's why I've been reposting them on Twitter. Hopefully, Twitter doesn't gather me together for reposting these copyrighted materials. But
No, because then I can appreciate them for the gymnastics as opposed to being in competition, and worrying about yeah. I can
That's
dissect
why
them and be like, oh, look at that. That was good.
I can't wait for somebody to post the damn Olympics on YouTube. I've been looking for it. All I got is the all-around competition. But
I know. I'm watching. I'm waiting for. I want the team final. I want.
Wait, where do you have the all-around final?
It's on like
It's on
the
the Olympic
BBC.
channel.
Yeah, Olympic channel. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I have a link to all of, or to footage of all of the days of competition, but it's not on YouTube. If you want that, let me know.
Please,
I would,
Oscar. I've been looking for team final since team final.
Me too. I really need to watch it again.
Okay, I'll send it to you, Bob.
Thank you.
And with that being said, you guys, I think we're going to end the show tonight. Tonight was very fun. It was very informative. I hope you guys learned some things. Everything we said were our opinions, We're nobody's experts on anything. I want the BBC version too, Johnny Pearl.
You act like a white
Johnny
woman.
Perry.
Oh my god.
But with that being said, everybody,
bye.
toodles.
Nice
Thank
seeing you
you,
guys.
friends.
Bye.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Go vote. Go vote.
Go vote for Kamala Harris. Go vote blue. I'm not just going to say go vote anymore. I'm going to tell you who to vote for. Bye.